A stunning retreat tonight, setting off yet another firestorm at the University of Virginia. Rolling Stone magazine apologizing for a story they now admit has discrepancies in a disturbing account of an alleged gang rape at a fraternity. It had rape survivors and advocates up in arms and put Greek organizations across the country under scrutiny. But tonight, a new round of finger pointing is underway. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
It was a story of rape at one of America's most famous universities, and yet tonight a stunning statement from Rolling Stone about the young woman at the center of their story.
Tonight, a campus already rocked by a rape scandal was reeling once again as holes appeared to emerge in the victim's story. It was just a little over 2 weeks ago when this explosive Rolling Stone article sent shockwaves through the University of Virginia campus. A UVA student going by the name Jackie recounting in the magazine the devastating story of her alleged gang rape by 7 young men at a Phi Kappa Psi fraternity party in 2012 when she was a freshman. In it, she told the excruciating details of her alleged rape, fraternity brothers egging each other on, saying, "Don't you want to be a brother? We all had to do it, so you do too." One of the first people she shared her alleged ordeal with was Emily Renda, now a sexual violence awareness specialist at UVA.
My reaction was to believe her, and that's the reaction you give any survivor. Frankly, we didn't talk too much about the details of that night, and that's pretty common for people coming out about a trauma for the first time.
In Rolling Stone, Jackie says the gang rape took place at a party on September 28, 2012. And at 3 a.m., she stumbled out of the frat house disoriented and in shock about what had just occurred.
I believe that Jackie has experienced a trauma and that she needs help working through that trauma.
According to the article, Jackie didn't report what happened to the police.
There's a whole emotional component where women who are raped are very often in a traumatic state. Sometimes they have post-traumatic stress syndrome, and they don't want to be touched. They don't want to be questioned. They don't want to feel like they're being re-victimized by the person they're telling the story to.
But eventually, Jackie decided to go public in Rolling Stone. The explosive article made headlines around the world, some seeing it as an indictment of Greek culture on American campuses nationwide. And a scathing repudiation of one of America's most prestigious universities, founded by Thomas Jefferson.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, misogyny has got to go.
But today, Jackie's story seemed to start to unravel.
Everybody's a little emotionally exhausted and confused, and everybody's kind of feeling pretty tumultuous right now.
Washington Post reporter T. Reeves Shapiro chronicled what his reporting says happened.
It just became clear that other facts, just weren't lining up right. I tried to find out when was this party and where did it happen. She said it was a date function on September 28th. The further we looked into it, it became more apparent that maybe there wasn't a party that night.
First, there were the discrepancies in the alleged victim's account.
I met her last night, and for the first time she said, well, maybe the party wasn't at Phi Psi, and then she told me that maybe the person who attacked her wasn't a member of the fraternity at all.
The fraternity also launched its own investigation, casting further doubt on Jackie's account. First, according to Phi Kappa Psi, the chapter did not have a social event the weekend of September 28th. The accuser says in Rolling Stone that her rape was part of a fall pledging ritual, but the fraternity says pledges and initiations take place solely in the spring semester. And third, in the article, Jackie says she was lured to the fraternity by a fellow campus lifeguard, but according to the fraternity, none of its members worked there at that time.
It's the number of facts that were wrong. And the bigger problem isn't so much for Jackie, because something may have happened to Jackie. The bigger problem is for Rolling Stone, because they are a news organization and presented this as a news piece. This wasn't a fictional narrative. It was presented as fact.
Today, Rolling Stone magazine apologized in a statement saying, in the face of new information, there now appear to be discrepancies in Jackie's account, and we have come to the conclusion that our trust in her was misplaced. The magazine went on to express regret that they never contacted the alleged attackers to get their accounts.
I don't know what they did. I only know what I did. Basic tenet of journalism is that you try and make sure that you get, on-the-record conversations with people involved on all sides of a particular issue or a particular event. I got Jackie's side, and it was, she provided me with an incredible level of detail. The one detail that was very difficult, to get from her was the other side.
Despite these new developments, today Jackie told the Washington Post she's standing by her story.
It's really not uncommon for rape victims to not remember events in this chronological time frame because they're traumatized. So very often they have bits and pieces of information. And on top of that, it's the only type of crime where women very often feel like they need to prove that they're not lying, because there is an assumption of, oh, is this person telling the truth?
Advocates say that false accusations of rape are very rare.
When a woman tells her story, it may not sound credible because the way she's telling the story is not in a chronological time frame. She may not remember all the details. She may not have all the proof.
And that just because the details of her story don't add up, it's still entirely possible that something awful happened to Jackie.
I know how much it hurts when one person questions your story and one person challenges you on your story, so I can't imagine how it feels to have national media who you trusted and then also a country challenging your story.
But it's not unprecedented for college students to be falsely accused of gang rape. Back in 2006, 3 Duke lacrosse players were falsely accused and subsequently charged with rape before being exonerated.
We have to understand that when a false allegation of rape is made, it can change a young man's life forever.
But on the UVA campus that was already struggling with Hannah Graham's tragic murder, today's revelations were just another blow. Alex Pinkleton, a UVA student who says she was raped and reported it to the university, says she hopes this doesn't discourage rape victims from coming forward.
Instead of looking back retroactively and focusing so much on this one incident that happened before, we should be looking forward to proactive steps about how we can prevent it from happening again.
For Nightline, I'm Lindsay Davis in New York.